Good evening, guys. Hello, good evening. Thank you very much if you're watching. Thank you for joining me on a Monday evening. It is 17th of July today, which is my birthday, which is very exciting. And what better way to spend it than with you guys? I'm going through my post bag. I've been away for a few weeks, so I've been sent lots of exciting books over the last few weeks, and I'm going to share them with you now. So first out of my pile in today's post bag is Sweet Little Lies by Kaz Freya. I think that's how you say it. We'll say Freya. And on the back of this it says, "What I Thought I Knew. In 1998, Marianne Doyle disappeared." And then, and this is important, this next bit is crossed out. If you see that, the actual text is scored through, and it says, "My dad was involved in the disappearance of Marianne Doyle." So that bit's crossed out. Marianne Doyle disappeared and Dad knew something about it. Marianne Doyle was never seen again. What I actually know. Dad lied about knowing Marianne Doyle. Alice LePaine has been found strangled near Dad's pub. Dad was in the local area when Marianne Doyle disappeared and when Alice LePaine was murdered. Fact. Okay, well that sounds amazing. I got given this by the publisher, which was very kind of them. It says on the front, a quote from Erin Kelly, who is a fantastic writer. "A blistering debut from a major new voice, authentic, compelling, unflinching and tender." And Alex Gray on the front is quoted as saying, "Impossible to put down." And Fiona Cummins also quoted on the front, "A killer premise, an utterly compelling story that will keep you up all night." So that is Sweet Little Lies by Kaz Freya. Let me know if you read it and if you think it's any good. I'm just going to press a little button here and see if I can see if anybody's here. Oh, video only mode. Oh, hey, Michelle, thank you very much for saying love your book reviews. That's very kind. Thank you for joining me this evening. Okay, so if anybody has read Sweet Little Lies, then let me know. I've seen a lot of exciting things about this book, and I need to know where to put it in my to-be-read pile and what's coming up. One of the things that I saw was that the author sent her publisher, which I think, by the way, is a terrible idea because it's setting a really bad example for the rest of us. She sent her publisher a whole selection of pies on her publication date which said Sweet Little Pies on it, which was very clever and looked very, very, very delicious. That's not to be encouraged, and all authors are not to do that because then our editors will all want to have big fabulous treats like that. Okay, next out of my to post pile. Now, this has actually not come through the post. This was slipped into my handbag at my own book launch, and I'm going to glare really accusingly at my own agent for this. Ready? Don't do that. Not a good idea. No, it's absolutely fine, Diana. Thank you. So this is really cool. This is Ros Watkins' The Devil's Dice. One false move and the devil will strike again. And I am super excited about this, not least because I met Ros last year at Harrogate Literary Festival for the first time, and she's a really, really, really lovely, lovely woman. And she was actually... She had a critique done by a friend of mine, Claire McGowan, the fantastic crime writer who does the crime writing MA at City, and she was so impressed by Ros's this book, that she recommended it to our agent, and then I believe it was snapped up fairly swiftly after that. So let me read what this says to you guys, and this isn't actually out until March next year, so this is super, super, super advanced. The devil is coming. Esteemed attorney Peter Hugo Hamilton is found dead at the Devil's Dice, a vast network of Peak District caves and well-known local suicide spot. His body lies below a cave wall with a carving of the Grim Reaper and an eerie inscription, "Coming for PHH." Yet the carvings have been there for hundreds of years. For D.I. Meg Dalton, this case is a chance to prove herself in a police force dominated by men. Yes, strong female character. One of whom knows a lot more than she'd like about her past, and is convinced she's unfit for the role. In a race against time to solve Peter's death, Meg must fight to get one step ahead of the murderer before the devil claims another life. And then it says at the bottom, Ros Watkins lives in the Peak District. Her debut novel, The Devil's Dice, is the first in a crime series featuring D.I. and Meg Dalton. It was shortlisted for the CWA Debut Dagger Award and has been optioned for a TV series by ITV Studios. Shut up! I can't believe it's already been optioned. It's not even out yet. So this is out in March. Keep an eye out for this. And if you've read this already, if you've been lucky enough to get an advance copy, let me know what you thought and I can work out where to put it in my TBR pile. So that is The Devil's Dice by Ros Watkins. Next out of my post bag this week I have, and this one comes with exciting bump. It's always nice to have exciting bump. Oh, you can't see because of my lighting. My lighting's a bit too bright on the books. Hello Karen, thank you for joining us. And it does sound good, doesn't it? It does sound good. Okay, so next in in my book is The Boy Who Went Magic. Can you see that? Oh, see, I've got snazzy new lighting so you can see me, but you can't see the books. Hang on, let me work out where we're going. There we go. If I do that. The Boy Who Went Magic, A.P. Winter. Okay, and it says, they say magic is long gone, but is it? A chain of fantastical mishaps in schoolboy Bert's dull life spiral out of control, but then he's rescued by Finch, a plucky girl adventurer with metal legs. Soon they're sailing through the clouds on a pirate airship bound for the forgotten land of Feranor. I have no idea if that's how you say it. Magic is their destination, for reasons Bert will soon discover. Oh my god, okay, so I love this already because it's got a character who is disabled. They have metal legs, which is the same as, that's, you know, that's kind of advanced, I guess, futuristic. No, you get metal legs now, don't you? I'm being ridiculous. This is great, this is fantastic. So we have a key character that has a disability, which I love, and I have a feeling that this feels like it might be YA. I'm not sure, just by the way that the cover is, the beautiful cover, and the let me see if it says anywhere, I don't know. It says this book in 3 words: action-packed, enchanting and fantasy. Action-packed is hyphenated, technically I think that's 4 words. Anyway, let's see what else it says in here. It's published by Chicken House, and a rip-roaring fantasy adventure from an exciting new voice in middle grade fiction. Yeah, so it is like for kiddies. It sounds brilliant. I want to put that right to the top. I'm a big fan of any book that features anybody with any disability. I think we need more diversity in our fiction, and this sounds right up my street for that reason. So this is The Boy Who Went Magic by A.P. Winter. Thank you for sending that through to me, guys. Okay, next one in my book bag. Oh, is, and I have another PR form. Let's put it over here so you can see it. I'm going to have to work out how to get through the lighting with this. This is The Other Twin by L.V. Hay. Now, lots of you will know L.V. Hay, Lucy, I think it's Lucy, who is online. She is a very prolific screenwriter and runs Bang to Rights, a fantastic kind of website, which is a great kind of source of brilliant articles for all of those who are aspiring writers and want to write for themselves. And this is her debut book, so let me read you about it. It's called The Other Twin, and it says, the dark, seductive debut thriller. Who are you? Are you the key? Could you stop all of this? What are you? Protector, jailer, you know which. When India falls to her death from a bridge over a railway, her sister Poppy returns home to Brighton for the first time in years. Unconvinced by official explanations, Poppy begins her own investigation into India's death. But the deeper she digs, the closer she comes to uncovering deeply buried secrets. Could Matthew Temple, the boyfriend she abandoned, be involved? And what of his powerful and wealthy parents, and his twin sister, Anna? Enter the mysterious and ethereal Jenny, the girl Poppy discovers after hacking into India's laptop. What exactly is she hiding, and what did India discover? A twisty, dark and sexy debut thriller set in the winding lanes and underbelly of Brighton, centering around the social media world where resentments and accusations are played out, identities made and remade, and there is no such thing as the truth. Oh, and Hayley Tully says this sounds fab. I'm assuming it's in regards to this one, not the previous book, but they both sound fab. And this sounds awesome. I love the way that Lucy set it in Brighton, which, as we all know, is the vlogging capital, the unofficial vlogging capital of the UK. And I can't wait to read this one. As you guys know, I write the social media murder mysteries myself, so I'm a keen fan of anything where crime and social media and kind of crime and technology intersect. So this sounds completely right up my street. Have you read this? Let me know what you think, and let me know where I should put it on my TBR pile. So this is The Other Twin by L.V. LV Hay, and I'm going to try and put it in a way so you can see it. I really need to work out my lighting. Maybe if I put it in, nah, it's all just blinding out, isn't it? That's a bit better. I'll get a card so we can put it behind and stop showing you all my bingo wings. So that is LV Hay, The Other Twin, which sounds fantastic. Social media themed and kind of crime is always good in my book, always good. Okay, another one out of my post bag this week has come with another lovely PR bumpy thing on it, and this is from Tinder Press, and oh my gosh, this has the most gorgeous cover. Look at that, can you see that? It's like a tattoo. That's what it reminds me of. A sort of beautiful, fabulous tattoo. Look at all of that, like a rose one that you would get going up some, like a sexy lady's leg. So this is called Gather the Daughters by Jenny Melamed. Let's see how it says. And it says, "Thou shalt not disobey thy father. Thou shalt not enter another man's home uninvited. Thou shalt not raise more than 2 children. Thou shalt not touch a daughter who hath bled until she enters her summer of fruitation. Thou shalt not allow thy wife to stray in thought, deed, or body. Thou shalt not allow women who are not sister, daughter, or mother to gather without a man to guide them. Thou shalt not kill." Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it kind of already is giving me Handmaid's vibes, don't you think? Which is totally on trend now. Oh. Karen is saying it's very pretty and Hayley is covering her eyes. It sounds scary, doesn't it? That sounds like kind of dystopian, kind of futuristic Handmaid's Tale sort of vibes to me, which is totally on trend at the moment. So what it says on the back is, "She takes off running nowhere in particular, flailing her arms wildly in the dark and laughing louder than she would dare scream at home. It's summer and the lavish rain..." I should have drunk more water before I come on here. "It's summer, and the lavish rain is hers, the brimming joyous night is hers, and there are many more days and nights to come." Oh, and it's such a beautiful book, such a beautiful book. Right, now this is a proof copy. When is this out? Let me see if it says on the little PR list. Oh, it's out really soon. Okay, so the hardback is out on the 25th of July, and it says Gather the Daughters is a smouldering debut, dark and energetic, compulsively readable. Melamed's novel announces her as an unforgettable new voice in fiction. Compared to Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I just tell you that? By several reviewers, this timely debut has also been described as #cultlit, following the success of such novels as The Girls, A Song for Issy Bradley, and Our Endless Numbered Days. And then we have a quote from Sarah Hillary, who really knows her shit. And she says, "This is simply stupendous, bristling with life and outrage, utterly timely, resoundingly real, contender for my book of the year." Well, that's bumped it right up to the top of my TBR pile. It sounds absolutely fantastic. It's also the Paul's Bedtime Book Club pick from today, the 17th of July, according to this. And Lucy Mangan in her stylist column has listed it as one to watch and called it feminist dystopia, and says she's double sold. Well, I think it sounds pretty good to me. I also like the cover very much, and one shouldn't judge on a cover, but when it's this pretty, I think it's okay. So Karen is saying we do like a dark story. We do like a dark story, and this sounds, you know, uncomfortably dark and also fabulous. So that is for the TBR pile and for Karen's TBR mountain as well. Now, last one out of my book pile, out of my book post this week, comes from Penguin Random House, and I have a little note with it, and it says, "Hi Angela, after you read out her quote for Paris Mon Amour on the 29th of May on one of these videos, Emma Curtis thought you might enjoy her debut novel, One Little Mistake. Hope you love it as much as we do." Ooh, this is very exciting. So let me show you the cover of this one. So this is One Little Mistake by Emma Curtis, and it says, "You trusted your best friend, you shouldn't have." Strong, strong. I'll read you the back. "Vicky Seagrave is blessed, 3 beautiful children, a successful doting husband, great friends, and a job she loves. She should be perfectly happy. When she risks everything she holds dear on a whim, there's only one person she trusts enough to turn to. But she's about to learn that one mistake is all it takes. That if you're careless with those you love, you don't deserve to keep them. A compelling page-turner, this book will make any woman look at her best friend with more than a touch of suspicion, from Jane Corrie, who wrote My Husband's Wife. Tammy Cohen, another fantastic writer, says a tense and utterly engrossing story. And Claire Fuller, author of Our Endless Numbered Days, says entertaining and thrilling right up to the dramatic ending. Well, that sounds fab. I think that's going to go on the pile as well, definitely to get read. Do let me know if you've read that one. One Little Mistake by Emma Curtis. Is it out now? It might be out now. I'm not sure. I can't tell. This looks like an actual book rather than a proof. First published in 2017. Who knows? Could be out, might not be out. Let me know if you've got it. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know if you like it. That's fantastic. So that is all of the books that I've had through my post box today, apart from ones that I've lost in my study, which is very easy to do because it is very messy. Looks very tidy from where you guys are looking, but you can't see behind the camera here, which is basically where I've pushed everything. Oh, so Karen says that she's read One Little Mistake and she really enjoyed it. So thank you, Karen, for recommending that. We will all take a look at that one and put it on our list. But now I'm going to give you 3 reviews of books that I have read over the last few weeks. These are not all the books that I've read over the last few weeks, but I'm going to cap it this week at 3, having kept you guys hanging around far too long the last time I did this. So let's keep it short and sharp and sweet, and let us come up with 3 reviews. So first review this week is for Rowan Coleman's The Summer of Impossible Things. And, oh man, I really need to work on the light. There we go. Ah, right. Okay, so if we put things in the bottom right corner, you can see the cover. Okay, let me read this to you. If you could change the past, would you? It is only after her mother's death that Luna discovers the secret she has been hiding for 30 years. Now she and her sister must travel to their mother's childhood home and settle her affairs. But in Brooklyn, something impossible happens to Luna. She finds herself in 1977, face to face with her mother as a young woman in the week that changed her life forever. To save a life, would you sacrifice your own? From the Sunday Times best-selling author of The Memory Book, this is a beautiful, lush novel about love, courage and family. I love this so hard, so much. I read this book all in one go. I cried twice, but it is ultimately a fantastically uplifting book. It's so clever of Rowan to have written a book about time travel and make it believable. Now she does it, I know that's silly because like we all write books and everything becomes believable, but you know, it requires an extra step of kind of suspense, of disbelief to write a successful book about time travel, and that's actually what she's done. And like The Time Traveller's Wife, though I think it's a very different book, it is at heart, I think, a love story. It was a fantastic read. It got me through my post-holiday blues. I read it all in one go. It's so evocative. Rowan clearly knows her stuff really well. I know that she's been to Brooklyn and she researched this. I also know Saturday Night Fever is a big kind of running skeleton throughout this book, and I know that she knows the film inside out, and it really shows. All of the details feel very realistic, both the contemporary ones and the ones in 1977. I learnt lots about Brooklyn in 1977 that I didn't really know from reading this book, but purely by accident, by osmosis. They were just there and I enjoyed it. The character of Luna is very cleverly, and I'm going to get it wrong, I'm going to say she's a physicist. She is a scientist of some sort, and I think she's a physicist. I think she might be a particle physicist, and that's very clever because that helps you believe that the time travel is realistic. Everything that happens in this book is just real. You totally, absolutely believe it. And you end up wanting the impossible so hard throughout this book. As I said, I cried twice. I formed very strong attachments to the main characters in this, and I didn't know how it was going to go. There was one epic twist that I didn't see coming at all that really pulled the rug out from under my feet and made me cry. And the second time that I cried was at the end, but it is a joyous, fantastic book to read, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. So that is The Summer of Impossible Things by Rowan Coleman. I am going to say though that this fits with a friend of mine's theory, which is that you take movies from the 80s that were thrillers and turn them into romantic comedies now. That's what you do. Or you do it the other way around. You take romantic comedies and turn them into thrillers. So I am going to say, and I hope Rowan will forgive me for this, that this is basically The Terminator as a love story. So I think that you should totally read it for that reason alone. So that is Rowan's The Summer of Impossible Things, which I would highly recommend. Oh, and I should just say as well that this has been loved kind of by everybody who's read it, but it actually has a quote from Jodi Picoult on the front, who calls it beautiful. And so if you don't believe me, you should totally believe her, because, you know, it's Jodi Picoult. Next out of my my review pile this week is Mad by Chloe Esposito, and this is Chloe's debut novel. This is the first in a trilogy which is going to be called Mad, Bad and Dangerous. I will read you the little puffy bit on this. It says, "There's something you should know before we go any further. My heart is in the wrong place. Now don't say I didn't warn you. Perhaps that's why nothing in Alvy's life has ever gone right, until now. She can finally abandon her credit card debt and her fruitless three-way with Tinder and Twitter when fate gives her the chance to steal her identical twin's perfect life. It's just a shame Beth had to die to make Alvy's dreams come true. So begin 7 days of sex, violence and unapologetic selfies. One wild week that sees Alvy break every rule in the book. She never did have much respect for boundaries. It might be madness, but rules are meant to be broken, right? Mad is the first in the sexy, shocking and compulsively readable Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know trilogy, and the beginning of a rollercoaster ride that those still alive at the end will never forget." So this is Chloe Esposito's Mad, the first in the trilogy, and I read this in a couple of sittings. I really enjoyed it. It's really good fun. I thought it was going to be a lot more like Maestra, L.S. Hilton's book, and I have to say that though it does contain sex, it doesn't contain kind of lots and lots and lots of graphic sex. There are sexy bits in it, definitely, but it's not kind of dominating the story. What does dominate the story is Alvy, who's the main character, who is incredibly funny, and I think that that is the real strength in this book. She is one of those characters that is not necessarily lovable, though I think you get behind her definitely as the story goes on and you learn more things about her past and also her sister's past, her twins' past. You definitely get behind her in that sense, but I think the thing that really wins you over is that she's just so funny, and Chloe has written a really, really, really funny book. This is basically like a rom-com but with a lot of murder, and I say that in a really good way. I really enjoyed it. I want to see what Alvy does next. I can't wait to read the next in the trilogy and see where it goes. Even for no other reason, just to spend time with Alvy and to listen to her voice and listen to her lols, because she's such a naughty character, because she's such a character that, you know, is a bit more out there and is a bit perhaps kind of not traditionally lovable. She gets away with saying the things that I think sometimes we might all think, and that is very enjoyable. So that is Mad's Chloe Esposito. I would recommend that. That's my second recommendation of this week. And my third and final recommendation this week, oh, I need to get my iPad, disappear off camera, is from the lovely Rose McGinty, and it is called, let me find you a picture, it is called Electric Souk by Rose McGinty. Now, I met Rose on a crime writing retreat that I was teaching as part of Retreat West, which was fantastic. You should look them up, they're very good. And Rose was one of the attendees. Now, this is Rose's debut novel, when it's called The Electric Souk. I will read you what it says on the back. "Ireland's gone bust, and with it Eileen Finn's life. She flees austerity for adventure in the desert, but the Arabia she finds is not that of her dreams. Everyone is chasing a fast buck, a fast woman and another G&T. Expats and locals alike prickle with paranoia. Debonair fixer Brian Rothman charms Eileen with champagne brunches and nights at Bedouin camps. But is Brian a hero, or a desperate expat prepared to go to any lengths to get what he wants? Is this Eileen, or is he using her as bait? Her only hope is Hissam, a local activist, but where do his loyalties lie? Eileen faces severe peril when the sleazy expat and blood-lusting desert worlds collide as the Arab Spring erupts. She has to ask, whom can she trust? Can she trust her instincts? Humanity blisters in this haunting lyrical thriller about trust and treachery. I think that that is absolutely bang on, like, to describe it by describing it as haunting. Electric Soup I kind of absorbed in about 3 readings. It's really evocative. I felt like I was in the desert. I felt like I was in Arabia. I had all of the kind of the sounds and the sights and the smells and the food and the heat. It's such a kind of a lovely kind of experience to be in, and yet she keeps it so taut all the way through. Electric Souk is I would say, I guess it's a romantic thriller. Well, that's how I would describe it. It kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're not sure what's going to happen. It's very cleverly done the way it's backdropped against the Arab Spring. So you have elements of kind of socioeconomic history and recent events unfolding that kind of feed into what's going on. And I think the way that Rose has done that is very clever. I have to say that the final 2 pages made me cry, and I had to keep rereading them over and over them again because I didn't want it to end. It's a lovely book. It's got real depth. It's got real kind of a sense of place and time to it, and I can't wait to see what Rose does next. And that is it for my reviews this week. So you have seen what's been in my post bag, and you have got my 3 summer reviews. I will say hello to Biscuit, who's dropped by to say you're making me feel all flipped. I'm going to take that as a good thing. Thank you very much for everybody who has listened. If you want to send me a book, then get in touch with me or my agent, and I will try and feature it on future videos. Next week I am starting something new and exciting. It is Harrogate Crime Writing Festival, for those of you who don't know. Kicks off on this Friday and will be going on Saturday and Sunday as well, and I am going to be doing some interviews with some special guests, with some surprises, and I'm not going to say any more at the moment. I'm just going to wait and let you guys see it when it happens, but I hope you enjoy it. I hope you all have a lovely week if I don't speak to you before, and I will see you at the weekend. Bye.